Welcome back. We're continuing getting your porch garden ready with some fresh herbs that are obviously great to have around if you're like cooking. You only need like a little bit of dill or a little bit of thyme. You know, having something like this on your deck could just allow you to snip a few leaves off and then go on with your recipe.
That's right.
So Joyce Amsden is a master gardener. Joyce, when you're approaching putting something like an herb like this into a pot like this, what are some of the things you're thinking about?
Well, one thing I'm thinking about is how these two plants are going to look like when they're mature, because the dill is going to grow tall. The thyme is more like a creeping plant, so they're going to look cool together. Another thing I'm thinking about with these particular plants, they both are, the pollinators love the blossoms. It can be a little bit disconcerting because one of the pollinators that loves the dill is the larva stage of the swallowtail butterfly.
Oh, okay.
So that means you could go and look at your dill and it's covered with grubs. And you maybe not crazy about that, and so you have to decide, you know, if you're going to tolerate some pollinators. But if you see that on your dill, those are very beneficial pollinators that are using the dill as a host plant. So it's one of the things that I love about using herbs, because they're also serving the purpose of taking care of our insects, which is so important.
When you're thinking about planting these in the pot, what are some of the considerations you have to have with regard to crowding?
Yes.
In here. So how do you choose the appropriate size container?
Right. This is not a huge pot, and I was considering that because both of these plants are going to grow. But the dill, come out and clip some off and use it in your tuna salad, or harvest some thyme, and that will help to contain the needs of the plant in this size of pot.
So when we're getting ready to plant, obviously we're going to take this out, I assume, out of there. Have you done anything to the plant to get it ready for this?
Yes, I soaked these.
And so that then you just want to loosen it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And now with the thyme, anything, same principle?
Same thing, yeah.
So similar thing, been soaking?
Yep, it's been soaking.
All right,
Oh,
that
look,
one's
pretty root bound too. They tend to be when they come from nurseries. They look better when they're root bound for a while.
And people often buy with their eyes.
Yes, and too, they just sit in the nursery for the whole beginning of the growing season, and they're still continuing to grow.
Okay.
And if they aren't thriving later, I will take them out and put them each into their own pot, thinking that they probably need more room.
And I'm assuming they need a little more soil now.
Sure, I'll support the plants.
Okay. All right. And do you pack it down at all?
Yes.
Okay.
And I wanted to mention too that this is a clay pot, and even in a plastic pot, if your porch or your patio or wherever you put your plants, if you can't walk barefoot comfortably on it, your plants are going to be too hot too, and that can kill your plants.
Right.
So what you do in that case is you use something like this planter to just get it up off of a hot surface, or you could use an upturned drainage tray. I wouldn't use a drainage tray under any plants on the porch. It keeps your porch clean, but it's really hard on the plants to have their roots wet all the time.
So much better to have something like this.
Yeah.
And at what point would you start harvesting this, or when they're like, this looks like a little young, maybe at least on the dill side, to start using it?
I would still use it. You know, it's just going to keep on growing. I'd use a little bit, and the thyme, certainly, you know, you can almost bonsai it, you know, shape it by clipping off to use. And also the nice thing about thyme is it sprouts so nicely at the leaf joints, so you can clip it back, lay the pieces on a paper towel, and you've got dried thyme to use all winter long.
Perfect.